I promised you a full cost breakdown of my customized Interceptor. Here we go. It took me a year to get to this point. I just doubled the price of this bike. And if I had to spend this amount of money again, I would do it without no doubt. Hello guys, my name is Max and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode I will do a complete cost breakdown of my Interceptor. And brace yourself for a very long video because this bike has 24 different modes, and for each of them I will tell you how much did I pay and also try to do it sort of a rating, form versus function. So let's get started. I made a list of all my mods and I sorted them from the least expensive to the most expensive ones. And the first on the list is the front 14-tooth sprocket. It costed me £22, and for the last couple of months I've been running on this 14-tooth sprocket, which is absolutely amazing. And the reason is the way I ride this bike, and I ride it on the roads, AB roads, so most of the time it's 50-60 miles an hour. And what the 14-tooth sprocket gave me is just more gears in the range I use the most. I don't really like riding on the motorway, so 70-80 miles an hour is a rare speed for this bike. And even on the motorway speed it can cope with it okay, just a little bit more noisy than normal 14-tooth sprocket. But for me, I would say the function is definitely, I will give it solid 5 stars. Form is a standard form, so I'll say for me it totally worth it. The next on the list are the fork covers for 22.79, so a little under £23. I got them on eBay, and to be honest, they are not for the Interceptor. They are for Honda CMX 500s of Honda Rebel, and they are shorter than the distance between the yokes. So it worked for me very good because I have 2 brackets for the headlight, which I ended up not using, and I have a bracket for the indicator. So for me, it filled the gap precisely. There's not even a millimeter of a gap now. So I really love how this forks look. So I'll give it 5 for the form, and they don't have any function, so it's just the form. But I'm very happy with this upgrade. The bike looks a little bit bigger, a little bit more substantial. I'm happy with this forks. The next item on the list, item number 3, is ignition relocation mount. It costed me £29.99, so £30. I got it from Sold Out Motorcycle. It's a beautiful piece of a kit. It's made of a solid piece of steel, super robust. They provided with full mounting kit, so the relocation was simple. You need to mess a little bit with the wires, but thankfully I already have extended all my wiring, so the installation for me was super simple and super straightforward. And it's great because I'm now able to fit the base light closer to the forks, and instead of the ignition I have the clocks, so now I know exactly when I need to be back to my girls. So the rating is the form and the function go hand by hand. I would give it 5 stars each. Really great piece of kit. The next on the list is the clock. I have Oxford clock from Amazon. I paid just a little less than £35, and it's amazing. It comes in multiple different colors. I think you have kind of black and silver with white background, and the one I chose was silver with white background. Works beautiful, it's precise. What else can you want from a clock? So my rating is 5 for the form, 5 for the function. Very happy, inexpensive, and does the job exactly how you want it to be. Now we are increasing the price a little bit. So I have the brake pads fitted to this bike, to the front and to the rear. I bought them to increase braking a little bit. I paid £26.99 for the front and £22.9 for the rear. I got them from Tech. Well, what I can say is that it didn't change the braking much. I would say it was exactly like it was with the stock pads, which I discovered them to be Brembo, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were Brembo. So again, I just swapped Brembo for something else. Didn't change much. My rating, form versus function. So I'll say function is 0, and form, you know, it's a braking pad. So I mean, there's a lot of different opinions on the internet. Some people say they provide better initial bite, whatever. If you feel like it works for you, go for it. For me, it's just, you know, 50 pounds I could have spent on something else. The next on the list is the bag. I actually have 2 bags, one for the right, one for the left. I got them from Roy and Rag for 59 pounds for each. And shipping and all the taxes all included in this price. They come from India. Really cool bags. I used to have the brown ones. Now I have black. It's beautiful. It's functional. Solid piece of kit. So I'll say it is, form is 5. I don't know, I have nothing to complain about, and function is 5 as well. Thanks very much, Roy and Rag. Very happy with your product. Now, something a little bit more controversial is this mirror. It costed me 62.5 euros. I got it from the French shop back. And the reason why it's controversial, first, is because it looks good. So the form, I would say, is 5 again. Beautiful form. But the function. So from one point of view, when you sit on the bike, you look back. Provides you very good visibility of the road behind you, like just fantastic, much better than the stock mirrors for sure. But the problem is, when you look in the mirror, you need to look down. So when you ride like this, you need to look down, and I would say this is tiring, and you need to take your eyes off the road for far too long. So this placement is not ideal. You can fit it upside down, so the mirror is here, but then it would be probably a little bit like stock ones. It's still a little bit better because it sticks out a little bit further, so you don't see your shoulders, but it's not how they kind of designed it to be. So I'll say form is 5 and the function is probably 3. The next one in this front section is the speedometer. I got mine used from someone who bought it and didn't even fit it. It came with 0 mileage, so I paid reduced price of around 62 euros. Let me double check. No, 63 pounds. So I got it with a discount. I think if you buy brand new, it's somewhere around 120, 150, more or less. So I think it's very beautiful. Honestly, I love it very, very much. The only problem with that is the scale. Like I said in my original video when I only fitted this speedometer, is that the scale comes from 0 to 200, and this bike doesn't do 200 miles, right? So that means you only use like 1/3 of your scale, so it's a little bit difficult to read the speedometer. I wish it was between 0 and, I don't know, 120. So that would mean you use most of your scale. It's easier to read. The separation between the digits is bigger, so it's a little bit easier to read. So I'll say function is 5 again, even though it doesn't provide you with everything your stock speedometer provides you. I'll still give it 5, and I'll explain why. So first of all, it doesn't give you the revs. I'm not using the revs. I'm hearing the engine, and that's enough for me to shift gears. Then it doesn't provide you with the fuel gauge. It doesn't tell you like the scale from 0 to full, how much fuel you have in the tank. But what it does provide you with the reverse indication, and it does so by eliminating the indicator telltale. So when you are going low, it starts to glow from like very dim to it becomes brighter and brighter, and when you hit reserve, it just bright, like full on indicator telltale, and that's enough, right? Another thing to understand how much fuel you have left is just to reset your odometer, and this bike can probably do 140 miles, and I refuel at about 110-ish, and I never put more than 9 liters of fuel. This tank is 13 liters of fuel, so there's 4 liters in reserve. So, but everything else is there. It gives you the neutral, it gives you the headlight telltale, the indicators, what else, and the engine light, and it's beautifully illuminated. So it's For the function, it's 5, and the form is fantastic. Again, I'm very happy with how it looks. It's smaller. It fits in a slightly different positions than it's actually the opposite position of the stock. Completely love it. I like the way the bike looks from my own perspective when I look in the front of the bike and when I look at the road ahead. So 5, happy. Let's move on. The next on my list, item number 9, is the front indicator brackets. I purchased indicators from Moton, and the way to fit them on forks is to also buy a special bracket that just clamps on the fork. And they costed me, it costed me £64.99. They look really nice, made of aluminium, finished with black, and they perform their function to keep the indicators in place really well. So for the function, it's the 5. For the form, I think they look good. The only problem is that the finish is a little bit, how to say, fragile. So when you use your tools to fit clamps, you can damage them easily, and it becomes less kind of new, especially these balls over here, these nuts. So I'll say it's 4 for the form and 5 for the function. The next on the list is the DNA air filter. I paid $74.99. I got it from Tech. I got it to increase the performance of the bike together with the pipes and all the rest. I mean, again, there's a lot of mixed opinions on the internet. Some people say that after fitting all this stuff, they got a completely new bike. I don't think it did a significant difference. Maybe altogether, when I finished with all the mods, it did improve a little bit the performance, but not too much. And like we discussed with Stan in my other video, is that all these mods are supportive modes. So the only real way to increase the performance of this bike is to work on the engine, and when you work on the engine, you need to also work on the intake and the exhaust and all the other things to support that performance upgrade. Maybe it will be inexperienced to say, but I think the bike was running with the stock filter just as good as it's running with the DNA one. The good thing with the filter is that I didn't need to swap it. I just did 6,000 miles service, and the guys didn't charge me for the air filter because this one is just washable and you don't need to pay extra. So it's actually an advantage. So form versus function, I don't know, let's put it something between 2 or 3 stars. It definitely is doing something, it's definitely supporting all the other mods, but it's not a game changer. And for the form, it's just a standard air filter, so there's no form. Right in the middle of the list, I have the rear and the front indicators. I purchased each pair for 85 pounds, which is quite expensive. I got them from Moton. I think I bought them on Urban Rider website. I got exactly the same for the rear and for the front. Beautiful shape, very nice finished. They come with 2 different color of the filter, so you can have white or orange, and I'm using orange both front and rear. They are not LED, they are bulb, so you don't need to change the flasher relay, you don't need to install anything else. It's just a simple plug and play. What I do recommend is to get a harness adapter for the rear. It will just make your life much easier. I think I got mine from Tech. Yeah, that really helped me out and saved a lot of time. So for the form, it's definitely the 5. Completely happy with the way they look. And for the function, it's also a 5. I never had a single problem with them. Very reliable, and they blink like the blinkers should. So 5.5. All right, on to the next one. Number 13 on my list is the item called heated grips. So I paid £97.49. I got them on eBay. They are Daytona heated grips. The reason why I have this particular grips is that, there are 2 reasons. So first one is that they don't have a controller. I hate the way this heated grip controller look on a handlebar. So I was looking for the grips without the controller, and there are two options, I think. One from Daytona, another one is from Oxford. The Oxford grips they have very good reputations, they're fantastic, but they are 2 times more expensive than these ones. So I got them, I fitted them. The only issue with fitting them was that they are slightly larger diameter than the diameter of both the throttle tube and just the bar diameter. The manufacturer recommends just adding some Teflon tape, which I did. You can also secure it with a glue. I didn't do it, and they hold nicely. They don't go anywhere. So for the function, I'll give it a 5 because they hit my palms really nicely. I think it has about 4 or 5 different levels. In this weather, I run on maybe mode 1 or 2, so level 1 or 2. In the cold weather, 4 or 5, and it is perfect. For the form, I also give it a high rating. Again, 4 or 5 stars. They look quite beautiful out of the box, black and nice rubber. It has a very good grip. I used to wrap them in leather, this leather band from Trip Machine. So I'll say it's 5 and 5 for form and function. Alright, so we are about to cross the 100 pounds mark. So we're just at the 100 euros right now. And this is how much I paid for the front mudguard. I got it from Bach, and I paid 100 euros for it. So what I think about this is form is definitely a 5. They come in 3 different lengths: the long, the short, and the medium, and I got the medium. And it looks beautiful, very nice brushed kind of finish. The problem is with the function. So it's a non-functional mudguard. I mean, the bike is all dirty, and maybe what also doesn't help is the diameter of my front wheel. It's a 7-inch wheel, so there's a little gap between the wheel and the mudguard, and there's more. Oh, that beautiful car is coming. Hold on. So the problem with the function is that because it's so small, there's a lot of water and mud. It's coming from here, and then with the wind it goes back to the headlight and to my face. So it's definitely not ideal for the protection of mud. It's not a big problem over here. For some reason it's quite okay, but from here during the winter months I'm all covered in dirt. Not recommended for those who want to keep their bikes clean, but those who want their bikes to look awesome, this is a fantastic piece of kit. So I'll say form is definitely 5, function is maybe 2 stars. Yeah, 2 stars, or maybe even 1 star. On to the next one, and very closely to the cost of the front mudguard, I have the base light. I think I paid a little bit too much for what this light is. I paid 101.67 euros. I think it's overpriced for what it is, because it's such a simple light, headlight with a very simple halogen light inside. It looks nice though, it has a very nice finish, and this glass is also cool, so it's a very good looking headlight. So I'll say for the form I'll give it 5. For the function I'll give it 2 stars or 1 star even. 2 reasons. So first one is halogen light isn't really powerful. So when you ride at night, if you ride often in nighttime conditions, it won't illuminate the road as good as the stock light does. So I was quite disappointed, and I was thinking about maybe fitting a stronger bulb or maybe replacing it with the LED bulb. I don't ride that much during like nighttime, so I didn't bother after all. And then because it's a European light, the mask on the glass is a European one. I did need to bother a little bit with the light to be able to pass MOT. I have to say that I did pass MOT with this light fitted, so it's possible, but I had to put it in a slightly awkward position so it matches with the MOT standards. Yeah, because it's so simple, I'll say its function is 1, but the form is definitely a 5. The rear mudguard was more expensive than the front. I paid £149. Now looking at it, I think I paid slightly too much for what it is, but it's a well-made mudguard made of aluminium. I bought it from Sold Out. It actually works better than the front. I think there's no problem with its function. It keeps me very clean, so I'll give it a 5 for the function. For the looks, for the form, I couldn't say that I'm completely satisfied with what I got. I was looking for a short rear mudguard. This one isn't really short. I think it's more or less the same length as the stock one. It just doesn't have the plastic extender, but this metal bit, I think it's pretty much the same length. So it doesn't really look short. So I'll say for the form, I'll give it 3 stars or 2 stars, somewhere there, because it didn't get what I wanted. But for the function, it's well made, and it does the job, protecting you from dirt and water really well. So it's a 5. And another upgrade on the rear are these shocks. I got the shocks from Tech. These are Tech gas shocks for 159.99 pounds. They are slightly better than the stock ones because they provide you with additional configurability, so you could set up not only the preload, but you can also set up rebound. Couldn't say that the performance of the shocks are much greater than the stock ones, so it's a little bit better because you can provide these additional adjustments, but I think it's pretty much on the same level. So I'll say for the form, I'll give it 5 stars because I like the black finish. The stock ones are yellow and silver, but this is all black. They actually provide you with different colors, so if you don't like black, I think you can go for silver. So it's 5 for the form. For the function, I'll give it 3. Yeah, not more than 3, because again, it didn't transform the back of the bike as I was expecting, or as reviews said it would. So maybe I had too high expectations, but I'm quite disappointed in the function. It's probably good for the price. If you want to put something like YSS, you need to pay significantly higher amount. So I think I should be happy, and I think the performance is adequate for the price. It's just not what I expected because of so many good reviews on the internet. My next upgrade is hidden under the seat. It's the FuelX fuel management system. So it's again another supportive mode when you work on the performance of your bike. I purchased it together with the pipes. Again, it's recommended when you put free-flowing pipes and free-flowing exhaust, your bike will run lean, and the fuel management system such as FuelX, or what it does, it just corrects the air to fuel ratio so the bike doesn't run lean. It doesn't change the performance, so don't expect any gain. I mean, it could be some marginal, but not really noticeable. And I think what it does is just keeps my engine happy. So I'm thankful for that, but again, the expectations were higher. It's also possible that they were just false expectations. So I paid 164.99 for FuelX. Form is just a standard looking ECU. It's like a pack of cigarettes size, made of plastic. It comes with all the kit. I had to modify the kit a little bit because the connectors that are in the kit are slightly bulky, but then it's all fine. So I'll say for the form, it's a standard ECU, so I don't even need to give it a rating. For the function, I'll keep it 4 because my expectations were unreasonable, and that's why I removed 1 star. But I think it does what it says on the box. It's just that you don't really notice that. Slowly but surely we're getting to the end of the list. I now have 5 upgrades remaining. I told you it was a long video, so I hope you are still enjoying it. Anyway, the next one on the list is the seat. I paid £183 to get a seat from K-Speed. It's the customization shop in Thailand. It was delivered quite quickly, and I was quite happy with that. And it's very different to the seat I had before. So first of all, it's shorter. The previous one I had from Bonvent, also fantastic, beautiful seat. It was to the end of the tail loop. This one is shorter. It does expose the mudguard, and I actually quite like it. Also, it has this bump, and it's thinner. Bonvent was taller, it had more padding. And then there's a little gap between the seat and the tank. I would say the fitment isn't as ideal as the Bonvent. It also a little bit how to say, not secured properly. There's a little gap. So for the fitment, I would maybe decrease a star from the rating of the form. Otherwise, it's a very good looking seat. I love it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Initially I didn't like this name stitched on the back of a seat. I think it's okay, to be honest. Right now I don't even notice it, but initially when I got it, it has just a huge label on it, and it's my bike. I don't want too many other guys' labels on it. So I wish they were a little bit more modest and be happy with this tag. I don't know why they needed to print that one. Anyway, so for the form, I'll give it 4. For the function, I'll give it 4 as well. So it's quite comfortable. It's okay. I already made a few long runs. Yesterday I was on a 100-mile trip, and I think it's comfortable, but not as comfortable as the seat from Bonvan. So it's 4 for the function and 4 for the form. The next one is the exhaust. So first of all, I purchased the slip-ons. I got them on eBay, but they are tech, so I paid slightly less than the retail price. I bought mine second hand, but they were very, very good quality for 200 pounds. So 200 pounds, very nice finish, very nice sound, and they are much lighter. And that is probably the best performance upgrade you can do to this bike, is to reduce its weight. So I'm very happy with the form, I'm very happy with the sound, I'm very happy with the function, so it's solid 5 stars on both. Now it's the header pipes. So the header pipes are from Tech as well, and I did had to wait quite a few weeks to get them, because they are always out of stock. Very popular upgrade, it seems. I'm happy with the looks. Looks are fantastic, and the best thing is this decoloration or coloration. When you buy it, it's just like silver finish, brushed silver finish, but then when it heats up, it becomes this beautiful colors, gold and violet. It's really good looking, and they also provide a massive weight saving. The stock pipes are very, very heavy. So for the function, I'll say maybe 4, because even though they reduce the weight and all this, they don't really change the sound that much. I mean, when I swapped the slip-ons, immediately huge upgrade in the sound of a bike. When I swapped the pipes, I didn't experience that much of a difference. For the form, I'll give a solid 5 stars. They look beautiful, and this coloring is also amazing. It seems that I have company. A few more things to go. And the next one on the list are the handlebars. So I paid 250 euros for the handlebars from Bach. They are called flat tracker bars, and I would say these are the best bars you can get for the Interceptor. They're very wide, they have a nice pullback, so you sit in the very nice upright position, and they look beautiful. But you will need to buy the cables as well, because they are wider than the stock. The stock cables wouldn't really work, and the problem is not with the bars. The problem is with the cables. They are far too long. I don't know how Bach did the measurements, but the throttle cable is definitely too long. It could be, I don't know, 5 to 10 centimeters shorter, and the clutch cable can be shorter as well. I'm actually very unhappy with the cables, and my friends who have similar bars, they ordered cables from Van Hill, and they are over the moon about the quality and the overall buying experience from those guys. I might do that as well, but because I paid 250, I kind of had to fit it and live with it. But I'll say for the form, I have to give it 4 stars, because even though the bars are best bars and beautiful, and there's no problem with the bars, the cables are a disappointment, so it's 4. And for the function, it's a solid 5. I mean, the way the bars look and the way the bike rides and the way it feels, that's a definite 5 for the function. And now we are going to talk about the most expensive upgrade I did to this bike, and maybe by far this is the best upgrade I did. I'm talking about changing the wheels. Initially I wanted fat tires just like on the Interceptor that Bike Shed built. But when I started to deal with this thing and spoke to many people, I was advised against going to very fat tires, and I decided to settle on the 17-inch front and 17-inch rear. I'm running on 110 on the front and 150 on the rear. The bike runs so well. It improved the handling. The handling is much quicker. The bike is more stable. Now when I'm going over like small imperfections on the road, or even sometimes the lane markings are very tall, I don't feel any wobbling. That all disappeared. The bike looks fantastic, it rides fantastic. Honestly, I'm over the moon with this upgrade. This is the best upgrade I did to this bike, and if I had to spend this amount of money again, I would do it without no doubt. And to tell you exactly, I spend 1,060 pounds on the wheels and on the tires. I have Bridgestone Badlax BT46, well-known tires for these bikes. A lot of people recommend them. They actually come in stock size as well, so you can get them even on the 18-inch wheels. Because of their performance and because of their reputations, I bought them for the 17 ones as well. So this price, 1,060 euros, it includes the part. I sourced the rims and the spokes. It also includes the labor. It doesn't include the wheel hubs. So what I had to do was I had to take off the wheels, the original wheels, give it to the builder, and the builder would take the hubs and build the new wheels off them. So that means that I couldn't swap between 18 and 17. If I want to go back, I actually need to rebuild the wheel again. 5 for the function, 5 for the form. Very, very happy. I will say money well spent. And the last on my list of upgrades is this beautiful tail light from Bonbon Motorbikes. I got it for free, and I put this tail light on the list to once again say thank you guys for this nice little gift. I think I achieved everything that I wanted to achieve from this bike, and I'm very happy to where I arrived. It took me a year to get to this point, and the only mistake I did was that I calculated how much I spend on the extras on this bike. I just doubled the price of this bike. But needless to say, I'm very happy with this bike. It gave me so many good emotions and put smile every time on my face, not only when I ride it, but also when I work on it. It's a fantastic machine, not only to improve your skill in riding, but also to learn a couple of mechanical skills and electrical skills. So that's it, guys. That's full cost breakdown. So thanks for watching, and you guys ride safe. Bye.